Target Corporation is the second largest discount retailer in the United States, behind Walmart, and is a component of the S&P 500 index. Founded by George Dayton and headquartered in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the company was originally named Goodfellow Dry Goods in June 1902 before being renamed the Dayton's Dry Goods Company in 1903 and later the Dayton Company in 1910. The first Target store opened in Roseville, Minnesota in 1962, while the parent company was renamed the Dayton Corporation in 1967. It became the Dayton-Hudson Corporation after merging with the J.L. Hudson Company in 1969, and held ownership of several department store chains including Dayton's, Hudson's, Marshall Field's, and Mervyn's. Wesfarmers began operating an Australian version of Target in 1973, although aside from naming rights, the American and Australian companies are unaffiliated. Target established itself as the highest-earning division of the Dayton-Hudson Corporation in the 1970s. It began expanding the store nationwide in the 1980s and introduced new store formats under the Target brand in the 1990s. The parent company was renamed the Target Corporation in 2000 and divested itself of its last department store chains in 2004. It suffered from a highly publicized security breach of customer data and the failure of its short-lived Canadian subsidiary in the early 2010s, but experienced revitalized success with its expansion in urban markets within the United States. As of FY 2015, Target operates 1,792 locations throughout the United States. The retail formats include the discount store Target, the hypermarket Super Target, and flexible format stores previously named City Target and Target Express before being consolidated under the Target branding. Target is often recognized for its emphasis on the needs of its younger, image-conscious shoppers, whereas its rival Walmart more heavily relies on its strategy of always low prices. History. Early history. The Westminster Presbyterian Church in downtown Minneapolis burned down during the Panic of 1893. Its congregation appealed to parishioner George Dayton to purchase the empty corner lot adjacent to the original church so it could rebuild. He instead constructed a 6-story building on his newly purchased property. Dayton convinced the Reuben Simon Goodfellow Company to move its nearby Goodfellow's department store into the newly erected building in 1902. Although its owner retired altogether and sold his interest in the store to Dayton, the store was renamed the Dayton Dry Goods Company in 1903, and was shortened to the Dayton Company in 1910. The company made its first expansion with the acquisition of the Minneapolis-based jeweler J.B. Hudson and Amp Son right before the Wall Street crash of 1929. Its jewelry store operated in a net loss during the Great Depression, but its department store weathered the economic crisis. Dayton died in 1938 and was succeeded by his son Nelson as the president of the $14 million business. Nelson died in 1950 and was replaced by his own son Donald, who with his cousins replaced the Presbyterian guidelines set by his predecessors with a more secular approach. The company acquired the Lippmann's department store company during the 1950s and operated it as a separate division. 1960s and 1970s John F. Guys developed the concept of upscale discount retailing while working for the Dayton Company. Using his concepts, the company opened its first Target discount store at 1515 West County Road B in the St. Paul suburb of Roseville, Minnesota. Douglas Dayton was its first president. The name Target originated from publicity director Stuart K. Wittes, and was intended to prevent consumers from associating the discount store with the department store. It opened 3 additional units in the first year, and reported its first gain in 1965, with sales reaching $39 million. Later that decade, B. Dalton Bookseller was formed as a subsidiary of the Dayton Company. The parent company acquired the jewelers Shreve and Ampco, and J. E. Caldwell, the Pickwick Bookshops, and the electronics and appliances chain Lechmere. It also went public with its first offering of common stock, and built its first distribution center in Fridley, Minnesota. In 1969, the Dayton Company itself merged with the Detroit-based J. L. Hudson Company, and together formed the Dayton-Hudson Corporation. The new company, at the time the 14th largest retailer in the United States, consisted of Target and the department stores Dayton's, Diamonds, Hudson's, John A. Brown, and Lipman's. Target reached $200 million in sales, while Dayton-Hudson acquired Team Electronics and the jewelers C. D. Peacock, Inc. and Jesp & Sons in the 1970s. Target reported a decrease in profits in 1972, due to the rapid pace of expansion with the purchase and conversion of several former Arlon's department store locations. New management marked down merchandise to reduce its overstock and only opened 1 new location that year. Target consequently became Dayton-Hudson's top revenue producer in 1975. Dayton-Hudson was established as the 7th largest general merchandise retailer in the United States with its acquisition of Mervyn's in 1978. 1980s and 1990s, Dayton-Hudson sold Lipman's to Marshall Fields and acquired the discount store chain Airway in 1980, and expanded into the West Coast market with the purchase and conversion of several FedMart stores in 1982. It sold the Dayton-Hudson Jewelers, subsidiary to Henry Burks and Amp, Sons of Montreal. The company founded the Plums off-price clothing store with 4 locations in the Los Angeles area in 1983. The following year, it sold the chain to Ross Stores, sold the Diamonds and John A. Brown department stores to Dillard's. Target was established as the dominant retailer in Southern California after purchasing 50 Gemco stores in the state in 1986. That year, Dayton-Hudson sold B. Dalton Bookseller to Barnes and Amp Noble. The acquisition of several Gold Circle and Richway stores assisted its expansion into northwestern and southeastern United States. Later that year, Dayton-Hudson sold Lechmere to a group of investors. In 1990, Dayton-Hudson acquired Marshall Fields and opened its first Target Greatland store in Apple Valley, Minnesota. It started the Everyday Hero clothing specialty store with 2 locations in Minneapolis in 1992, although they were closed in 1997. In 1993, the company created a chain of 4 closeout stores called Smarts for liquidating clearance merchandise, which were shuttered in 1996. In 1995, the first Super Target hypermarket opened in Omaha, Nebraska, and the Target Guest Card, the discount retail industry's first store credit card, was launched. J.C. Penney offered to buy out Dayton-Hudson for $6.82 billion in 1996, an offer that most analysts had considered as insufficiently valuing the company. Target remained the company's main area of growth while the department store subsidiaries underperformed. The middle-scale Mervyn's department store chain consisted of 300 units in 16 states, while the upscale department stores division operated 26 Marshall Fields, 22 Hudson's, and 19 Dayton stores. In an effort to turn the departments around, Mervyn's and Marshall Fields closed several locations. Dayton Hudson acquired Greenspring Company's multi-catalog direct marketing unit, Rivertown Trading Company, and the apparel supplier Associated Merchandising Corporation in 1998. In 1999, Dayton Hudson acquired Fedco in order to expand its SuperTarget operation into Southern California. Revenue for Dayton Hudson increased to $33.7 billion, and net income reached $1.14 billion, passing $1 billion for the first time and nearly tripling the 1996 profits of $463 million. On September 7, 1999, Dayton Hudson launched Target.com website as an e-commerce site as part of its discount retail division. 2000s and 2010s. In January 2000, Dayton Hudson was renamed the Target Corporation. Between 75 and 80% of Dayton Hudson's sales and earnings were coming from Target, while the department stores were used to fuel its growth. It also separated its e-commerce operations from its retailing division, and combined it with Rivertown Trading into a standalone subsidiary called Target Direct. The following year, the Dayton's and Hudson's stores were rebranded under the Marshall Fields name. The company sold Marshall Fields to May department stores in June 2004, and sold Mervyn's to an investment consortium including Sun Capital Partners, Cerberus Capital Management, and Lubert Adler Claflin Partners, L.P. That September. In 2005, Target began operation in Bangalore, India. In 2006, Target completed construction of the Robert J. Ulrich Center in Embassy Golf Links in Bangalore, and Target planned to continue its expansion into India with the construction of additional office space at the Mysore corporate campus and successfully opened a branch at Mysore. On January 13, 2011, Target announced its first-ever international expansion into Canada, when it purchased the leaseholds for up to 220 stores of the Canadian sale chain Zellers, owned by the Hudson's Bay Company. The deal was announced to have been made for $1.8 billion. Target opened its first Canadian stores in March 2013, and at its peak, Target Canada had 133 stores. However, the expansion into Canada was beset with problems, including supply chain issues that resulted in stores with aisles of empty shelves and higher than expected retail prices. Target Canada racked up losses of $2.1 billion in its short life, and the store's botched expansion was characterized by the Canadian and U.S. media as a spectacular failure, an unmitigated disaster, and a gold standard case study in what retailers should not do when they enter a new market. On January 15, 2015, Target announced that all 133 of its Canadian outlets would be closed and liquidated by the end of 2015. The last Target Canada stores closed on April 12, 2015, far ahead of the initial schedule. Store formats. Target. The first Target discount store opened in Roseville, Minnesota on May 1, 1962. Present-day properties are roughly 135,000 square feet, and sell general merchandise including hardlines and softlines. While many Target stores follow a standard big-box architectural style, the company has focused on customizing each new store to ensure a locally relevant experience that best fit the surrounding neighborhood's needs. Since August 2006. Initially, only SuperTarget locations operated Starbucks coffee counters, although they were integrated into general merchandise stores through their expanded partnership beginning in 2003. Several locations include Target Optical, Target Photo, and Target Pharmacy departments. The latter division was purchased by CVS Health in 2015, and began operating as stores within stores under the CVS Pharmacy and Minute Clinic mastheads in February 2016. Target introduced the P-Fresh store prototype in 2006, which expanded the grocery selection in general merchandise locations by an upwards of 200%. Newly constructed stores that follow the P-Fresh format are roughly 1,500 square feet larger than properties without groceries, although retain the Target branding because their offerings are considerably more limited than Super Target. The company remodeled 109 stores accordingly in 2006, and renovated another 350 stores the following year. The company's decision to close the garden centers opened floor space for P-Fresh expansion and larger seasonal departments beginning in 2010. Super Target. The first Target Greatland location opened in Apple Valley, Minnesota in September 1990. They were about 50% larger than traditional Target stores, and pioneered company standards including an increased number of checkout lanes and price scanners, larger aisles, expanded pharmacy and photography departments, and a food court. Target Greatland locations have since been converted to stores following the P-Fresh format beginning in 2009. The first Super Target hypermarket opened in Omaha, Nebraska in 1995, and expanded upon the Target Greatland concept with the inclusion of a full grocery department. The company expanded the grocery assortment in 2003, and adopted the modified tagline, "Eat Well, Pay Less," in 2004. In the early 2000s, 43 locations featured E-Trade trading stations, although they were all closed by June 2003 after E-Trade determined that we were not able to make it into a profitable distribution channel when comparing itself with rival Walmart supercenter hypermarkets. Then Chief Executive Greg Steinhafel opined that Walmart operates like a grocer that happens to also sell general merchandise, where in contrast its less aggressive expansion of Super Target stores is indicative of the position that the grocery industry is a high-impact, low-cost side project. The company operates 239 Super Target locations as of September 2015. They each encompass an estimate of 174,000 square feet. Flexible format Target. While typical Target locations are approximately 135,000 square feet, the majority of flexible format City Target stores are roughly 80,000 square feet. The first stores were opened in July 2012 in Chicago, Los Angeles, and Seattle. The 160,000 square feet location in Boston as the largest City Target had opened in July 2015. Target Express stores hover around 14,000 square feet to 21,000 square feet. The first opened in Dinkytown near the University of Minnesota in July 2014. Products in these flexible format properties are typically sold in smaller packages geared towards customers using public transportation. Locations built in college communities often carry an extended home department of apartment and dormitory furnishings. In August 2015, Target announced that it would rename its 9 City Target and 5 Target Express stores as Target beginning that October, deciding that big or small, our stores have one thing in common: they're all Target. The first flexible format stores under the unified naming scheme opened later that month in Chicago, Rosslyn, San Diego, and San Francisco. Subsidiaries Financial and Retail Services. Financial and Retail Services, formerly Target Financial Services, issues Target's credit cards, known as the Target Red Card, issued through Target National Bank for consumers and through Target Bank for businesses. Target Financial Services also oversees gift card balances. Target launched its PinX debit card, the Target Check Card, which was later rebranded the Target Debit Card. The Target Debit Card withdraws funds from the customer's existing checking account and allows for up to $40 cashback. The debit card allows customers to save 5% of each purchase, as well as designate a school for Target's Take Charge of Education program, and accumulate pharmacy rewards. Target Sourcing Services. Target Sourcing Services. This global sourcing organization locates merchandise from around the world for Target and helps import the merchandise to the United States. Such merchandise include garments, furniture, bedding, and towels. TSS has 27 full-service offices, 48 quality control offices, and 7 concessionaires located throughout the world. TSS employs 1,200 people. Its engineers are responsible for evaluating the factories that do business with Target Corporation for quality, as well as labor rights and transshipment issues. TSS was acquired by Target Corporation in 1998, was founded in 1916 as the Associated Merchandising Corporation, and was previously owned by the clients it served. Target Sourcing Services ceased operations in its department store group, the division of the former Associated Merchandising Corporation that acted as a buying office for Saks, Inc., Bloomingdale's, Stage Stores, Inc., TJ Maxx, and Marshalls. Private label brands. Target Brands owns and oversees the company's private label products, including the grocery brands Archer Farms, Market Pantry, and Simply Balanced, Sutton and Amp, Dodge, the premium meat line, Room Essentials, the home goods line, Threshold, the premium furniture line, and the electronics brand TrueTech. Target issued a relaunch of the Target brand as Up and Amp Up to include an expanded product selection and a new design. The Up and Amp Up brand offers essential commodities including household, health care, beauty, baby, and personal care products. The brand claims to offer products of equal quality to national brands at a fraction of the cost, averaging a savings of 30%. As of September 2009, Up and Amp Up carries over 800 product offerings across 40 categories. In addition, Bullseye Dog is a mascot, and a Bullseye design and Target are registered trademarks of Target brands. Website. Target.com owns and oversees the company's e-commerce initiatives, such as the Target.com domain. Founded in early 2000 as Target Direct, it was formed by separating the company's existing e-commerce operations from its retailing division, and combining it with its Rivertown Trading direct marketing unit into a standalone subsidiary. In 2002, Target Direct and Amazon.com subsidiary Amazon Enterprise Solutions created a partnership in which Amazon.com would provide order fulfillment and guest services for Target.com in exchange for fixed and variable fees. After the company sold Marshall Fields and Mervyn's in 2004, Target Direct became Target.com. The domain Target.com attracted at least 288 million visitors annually by 2008, according to a Compete.com survey. In August 2009, Target announced that they would build and manage a new Target.com platform, independent of Amazon.com. This new platform was to launch in 2011, in advance of the holiday season. Prior to the announcement, Target and Amazon had extended the partnership until 2011. In January 2010, Target announced the vendor partners for the replatforming project. These partners include Sapient, IBM, Oracle, Endica, Autonomy, Sterling Commerce and Huge, among others. The replatformed Target.com officially launched on August 23, 2011, effectively ending the partnership with Amazon.com distribution centers. As of May 2016, Target Corporation operates 38 distribution centers across the United States. Target opened 3 new distribution centers in 2006 and 1 in 2009 to support the growth of its stores, with the exception of vendor-supplied items, such as greeting cards and soda. These distribution centers ship items directly to Target stores. Also, unlike Walmart, Target's grocery selection does not come from their own distribution centers, but from the companies with whom Target has partnered. The retail chain's first distribution center opened in Fridley, Minnesota, in 1969. It included a computerized distribution system and was known as the Northern Distribution Center. During this time, the chain consisted of 17 stores after having expanded into Oklahoma and Texas. On August 9, 2004, Target announced to the suppliers that they were going to perform a trial on the effects of radio frequency identification on the efficiency of supply chain management in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. This trial involved one Target distribution center and 10 nearby Target stores. Here, RFID tags would be placed on the barcodes of pallets and cartons to track the goods from the suppliers to the distribution center, and from the distribution center to the stores. As of 2009, RFID had been phased out of the Dallas-Fort Worth stores. On January 27, 2009, Target announced the closing of its distribution center in Maumelle, Arkansas, the second oldest in the company. The reason cited was the need to ensure that Target remains competitive in the long term. Super Target and P-Fresh stores require fresh produce, refrigerated and frozen items. Food distribution centers owned by Super Value have been utilized by Target for many years. In October 2003, Super Value's facility in Phoenix, Arizona, was converted to serve Target exclusively. The same change was implemented at the Super Value Center in Fort Worth, Texas. A new distribution center was constructed by Target in Lake City, Florida, to serve the Southeast, but it is operated by Super Value. A fourth center in Cedar Falls, Iowa, opened in 2009 and is unique in that it is located adjacent to a standard Target distribution center, each utilizing the same dispatch office. Other warehouses owned by Super Value are still used in other regions, but Target plans to replace those over the next few years. In Colorado, stores are serviced through Freshpack Produce Inc. of Denver. In the Mid-Atlantic region, Philadelphia Market, C&Am's Wholesale Gross services the fresh produce, meat, dairy, bakery, and AMP frozen needs to P-Fresh stores. The company operates 4 facilities to receive shipments from overseas manufacturers and suppliers. They are located near ports at Rialto, California, Savannah, Georgia, Lacey, Washington, and Suffolk, Virginia. Merchandise received is sent directly to regional distribution centers. Internet sales orders from the Target Direct division, which operates from the Target.com website, are processed by the facility in Woodbury, Minnesota, with some support from Savannah, Georgia, and other vendors. New centers opened in Ontario, California, and Tucson, Arizona, in 2009.